Many thanks, Sam, for having the introduction and providing the European overview on what's happening in the psychologistics industry in Europe. I will now do a deep dive into what is happening in the German psychologistics sector and how is the sector developing there. We as Radlogistik Verband Deutschland, if you may not know it, the short version is RLVD. We are the lobby organization for the entire ecosystem around psychologistics. So we are representing manufacturers, operators, retailers, service providers, and so on. So we are doing the lobby and advocacy work as we are doing the networking work for the ecosystem, and this is what makes us pretty strong in Germany to make the point for cargo bikes. We will briefly discuss within the next 9 minutes left the status quo of psychologistics in Germany, have a short look on current market developments, and have a look on some pain points and perspectives for growth. So if you want to know what's the status quo of psychologistics in Germany, the best thing you can do is to go on our new homepage for our project I Know Radlogistik. It's the Radlogistik Atlas. It's in German, but Google Translate now enables you to also have a look on it, even if you're not fluent in German. And this has a map of the entire German ecosystem where you can find all the manufacturers, operators, and so on. Some more information on what is going on in Germany. So this is a very good starting point to have a deep dive into the ecosystem. To put it into some numbers, in Germany, we're currently having 39 small and medium-sized enterprises doing psychologistics. Those numbers are from summer. I just learned from my colleague who's doing the work that we found some more companies, so it's a bit higher, the number right now, and this does not include the large parcel operators. So it's all the small and medium-sized enterprises. And what we can see from the numbers is that we have, or the majority of SMEs is within the classical bike courier operations. So what we know for decades, you have a small bike, you have the bike courier, you have the messenger bag doing fast deliveries within the city. Some of them using cargo bikes, the slimmer versions. And then there's another large group, which is psychologistics operation. This is the area where we more talk about large cargo bikes, heavy carrier cycles, doing parcel deliveries, doing pallets, doing food deliveries, and vegetable delivery. So we are having those two main segments, which are also interlinked with some companies serving both. So this is what we can see from the operators side. And if we look into the manufacturers side, which also belongs to the ecosystem, where the German ecosystem is pretty strong as OEM manufacturers. So there are 27 manufacturers of cargo bikes and, there are additionally 12 for trailers, having bikes for commercial use. So some of them are purely focused on commercial cargo bikes. Mostly of them are doing heavy cargo bikes, and some of them are doing cargo bikes for commercial use and private use, but this is a pretty high number of companies, and most of those companies are founded within the last 5 to 6 years. So this is a pretty young, active, innovative startup scene you can see in Germany with a very strong network. And then what has also surprised me when looking at the ecosystem is that there are at least 60 companies doing software and service. So and those are mostly small and medium-sized enterprises. So this is a large ecosystem, and we will now have a look on how it's developing. And we, as German Psychologistics Association, we are doing our Radlogistik report every year, since I think 2021. And this year we had 51 participants. We changed the methodology slightly, so I cannot compare exactly the numbers from 2022 to 2023, but still we can have a look into the industry. What we can see is that the German psychologistics ecosystem, there are 5,400 employees employed, so they are working there. And we are having 42% of the companies taking part who answered that they are expecting that they are even increasing number of employees, and 48% are expecting stable employee numbers. These numbers had been higher, especially for increasing of employees, but in Germany last year and also this year is pretty tough for the ecosystem, so the expectations of growth went down. It's a bit the same picture if you look into turnover. So there's 183 million euros turnover in the cargo psychologistics ecosystem. And also here, the 52% are expecting a more or less stable turnover. And more than a third are expecting that it's going to... I mixed up the colors, sorry. 52% are expecting an increase, and even 6% are expecting a strong increase of turnover, and 27% are expecting that the turnover is constant. So, especially the strong increase expectations had been stronger at the beginning in 2002, 2021, but now this is an indication that the market circumstances are not as good as we would like to have them. But still, the market is innovative, and still the market is expecting that in general the ecosystem is going to grow, and we ask our participants what do they expect, and generally they expect that the market, or especially their market, will grow by 10% each year for the next 5 years, what is a stable growth. But 10% sounds large if you look into general growth numbers of the economy. If you look into how strong do we need to scale psychologistics that we really can replace half the vans in a city by 2030, actually this number needs to be higher. So this is something we really need to get our hands on. And there are some pain points which are limiting this growth. One is that especially on the operator side, those operators are small and medium-sized companies. Many of them are having legacy software systems, and there is the threat that they are going to miss to digitalize their operations, their processes, and that they are going to miss a lot of shippers with digitalized processes who don't want to call a courier anymore. They want to just put the order through, digitalize, and they just want to have the user experience that their customer knows when the parcel is going to arrive. And this is something the operators need to get their hand on. And the other point is also in Germany, we are experienced that on the political side, the policies are going back to a more car-centric approaches. That's the issue of we have to green corporate fleets, we have to get our hands on fighting climate change, that the focus is back on cars and less on let's transform transportation systems. And on the European level, this is what Sam already mentioned, there are some tendencies that there is going to be a pretty strong regulations on cargo bikes and maybe on heavy cargo bikes, coming from the point that people think that heavy cargo bikes are a threat and for safety on streets. And here we really need to change the picture. It's not a threat for people riding a bike if you compare it to what is currently on the streets. On the streets we are having vans being driving at 60 kilometers per hour, being 3.5 tons heavy. This is a threat, and we have to replace them with cargo bikes, being 600 kilograms heavy, driving 25 kilometers. This is physics, that this is a benefit for traffic safety, and we really have to make this point as an industry to have carrier cycles that they really are a benefit for traffic safety. But there are also some positive points. In Germany, there had been a public funding for commercial cargo bikes. It stopped in February, and now it is back since October. So if you are doing business, if you are selling cargo bikes in Germany, there's a public funding for commercial cargo bikes up to 25% of purchasing costs. And additionally, what we see within the German psychologistics sector, and actually what I also can see here at the International Cargo Bike Festival, what is a very positive sign is that the innovation within the sector, especially with technology, is still very high, very fast, and this is a good trend forward to show that we are doing our homework, that the cargo bike will be the future means of transport in cities. And what we also did in Germany to help people to know what is psychologistics, how does it work, what can we do to plan it from the municipality side, is we wrote a book. It's 400 pages, everything you need to know is in there. Until now, it's in German. We are working on an English version. This is planned, and we are discussing this with Spring right now. And if you follow the link, you can download it already. It's for free. Many thanks.